Animate Objects. Fifth level transmutation, casting time of 1 action, range of 120 feet, components, verbal, somatic, duration, concentration, up to 1 minute. Objects come to life at your command. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. That's a particular thing, similar to like a lot of fire spells, not saying like, oh, if it's worn or carried, it's not set aflame. Similar thing in this. Medium targets count as 2 objects, large targets count as 4 objects, huge targets count as 8 objects. You can't animate any object larger than huge. Each target animates and becomes a creature under your control until the spell ends or until reduced to 0 hit points. As a bonus action, you can mentally command any creature you made with this spell if the creature is within 500 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures, you command any or all of them at the same time, issuing the same command to each one. Similar to Animate Dead. You decide what action the creature will take and where it will move during its next turn. You can use and issue a general command, such as guard a particular chamber or corridor. If you issue no commands, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until its task is complete, just like Animate Dead. Though, now we actually have statistics for some of these things, because it's not just go look for a stat block in the monster manual. It has its own object class stats-ish. Tiny, 20 HP, 18 AC, oh boy, plus 8 to hit. I always forget that. Always. Even though, God, I am always baffled by that. I have an enemy that uses a bunch of animated objects and always forget that they have a plus 8 to hit on all of these attacks. It's up to 8 tiny things. Well, okay, we're gonna elaborate on that later. We're gonna get through the stats. 1d4 plus 4 damage, depending on what the object is. 4 strength, 18 dex. Small, 25 HP, 16 AC, plus 6 to hit, 1d8 plus 2 damage, strength 6, dex 14. Medium, 40 HP, 13 AC, plus 5 to hit, 2d6 plus 1 damage. That's a bit hefty. 10 strength, 12 dex. Large, 50 HP, 10 AC, plus 6 to hit, 2d10 damage, plus 2. Whew. 14 strength, 10 dex. Huge, 80 HP, 10 AC, plus 8 to hit, 2d12 plus 4 damage. Oh, I forgot. Strength 18, 6 dex. An animated object is a construct with AC, hit points, attacks, and strength and dexterity determined by its size. Its constitution is 10, and its intelligence, wisdom are 3, and its charisma is 1. Why you gotta hurt him, man? Its speed is 30 feet. If the object lacks legs or other appendages it can use for locomotion, it instead has a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover. If the object is securely attached to a surface or a larger object, such as a chain bolted to the wall, its speed is 0. It has blind sight with a radius of 30 feet and is blind beyond that distance. When the animated object drops to 0... Oh my... We're gonna get to the blind sight. When the animated object drops to 0 hit points, it reverts to its original object form, and any remaining damage carries over to its original object form. If you command an object to attack, it can make a single melee attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. It makes a slam attack with an attack bonus and bludgeoning damage determined by its size. The DM might rule that a specific object inflicts slashing or piercing damage based on its form. At higher levels, if you cast this spell using spell slot of 6 or higher, you can animate 2 additional objects for each slot above 5th. Okay, well, that's a lot. Namely, heading back to that rule where you can't do things that are worn or carried, it means you can't animate someone's weapons that they're already holding and use it against them instantly, nor can you animate someone's armor to doff itself, and a few other things like chains bound to them, or that's for stuff like telekinesis or other specific spells. The mental commands are very similar to Undead, with additional caveats. It has its stats within the spell itself, not within a monster manual. You can also just adjust what exactly you're summoning and what kind of damage or object you're willing to trade off. Within Talvos, there's some groups and people that regularly have extra sashes of swords. This is how you get around the worn or carried rule if you want to animate something already on you. You have it all bundled up in slashes at these crazy belts or these like mantelpieces that have this like wreath of blades or sheaths. And then when you head into combat, you simply unbuckle it, unstrap it, falls to the floor behind you as you're casting the spell, and all of a sudden, whoosh, as 8 blades. And I also rule this does magic damage because it's a spell animating it. You could argue that down below, but I think it does magic damage. especially for a 5th level spell. Anyway, yeah, you drop the Wreath. All of a sudden, 8 separate blades that are all attacking, and the thing is blindsight. 30-foot blindsight. And depending on how many objects you've animated, and you've ordered them to attack or search out for an enemy, you can have them go out in a large wave or searching patterns. Like, even if you're not going to attack, this can help with searching. Bloodhounds that are made of knives or barrels or some pebbles you found. I think that's a really good spell. It has utility, it has attack power. It can be a bit goofy as well. So I'm going to say 7 out of 10. Yeah. Though, if it doesn't do magic damage, probably knock down to a 6. But I've ruled it as such before. I'd like to hear what you say in the comments about it.